Shabbat Shalom. Greetings, blessing and honor and glory and power to Father Yahweh, who is power, and all power comes from him and belongs to him. Blessing upon his name and upon Messiah Hawashai, who he has appointed as his representation on the planet, who he has appointed as the prophet, the high priest for the children of Israel, and the king of the planet Earth in the kingdom soon to be established. Great blessings and honor to his name. Blessings and honor to all the angels that work for him, the ministering spirits that excel in strength and do his commandments and hearken to the voice of his word. Blessing and honor and power be to Father Yah. Blessing and glory to his name and to Messiah Yahushua, the Lion of the tribe of Judah, his only begotten Son. Greetings to the 12 tribes scattered to the four corners of the earth according to the prophecies and words of this book. Greetings and blessings upon them, and to the 144,000 among them who are being prepared for the final movements in the destruction of Babylon. Greetings to the Gentiles who have taken the faithful stand to stand with this black man who is the Lion of the tribe of Judah and the Most High Yah, his Father, through the righteousness given from Father Yah. Greetings, blessings, and greetings to the chat, Heavenly Garden, and Brother Stephen Kelly and Chaplain Lewis and Akmar and Brother Mark and Only One Way and Brother Yakoba and Sister Daniels and Brother Daniels and Isha Shama and Brother Superstar and Brother Laviska and their families and April Buck. Greetings and blessings to all of you. We have been studying the book of These Be the Words. We've been studying the book of These Be the Words, Adabarim, otherwise known as Deuteronomy. We have been studying this book and we have went through 8 divisions of this beautiful, powerful history lesson. That's not just a history lesson. It's a lesson in obedience. And most of all, it is a prophecy of the true people of Yah, the bloodline children of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Today, we're studying chapter 9 of this division of chapter 9 of this book called Deuteronomy. And we are going to be going through some interesting things here. And again, the focus is going to be righteousness. The focus is righteousness. Now, brethren, our father, Abraham, when he was called from Ur of the Chaldees, and he obeyed and went at the voice of Father Yahweh, and he went out with the promise that he was going to become, the Most High was going to make him a great nation. One of the promises was not only was he going to become a great nation, but that the Most High would give him land and that would bless him with land and bless his seed with land. Now, let's go back to Genesis 15 because Abraham was 75 years old when he heard the call of Father Yah. He was 75, and his wife Sarah was 65. And they went out and they sojourned in foreign lands for 25 years until they received the promised son, Yishak or Isaac. They received the promised son. Abraham was 100, and his wife was 90 years old when they received the promised son. So 25 years, they were out traveling as Father led them to travel. Now, it's important that we understand what both the Apostle Paul brought forth and but also what he got from Genesis. We're going to look at both aspects here. But looking at Genesis chapter 15, the Most High's word came to Abraham before his name was changed to Abraham, right? To Abraham. And so let's take a look in Genesis 15, beginning at verse 1. Genesis 15, beginning at verse 1. Now we see here, beginning at verse 1. After these things, the word of Yahweh came unto Abram in a vision, saying, Fear not, Abram, I am thy shield and thy exceeding great reward. And Abram said, Yahweh most high, what wilt thou give me, seeing I go childless? And the steward of my house is this Eleazar of Damascus. And Abram said, Behold, to me thou hast given no seed, and lo, one born in my house is mine heir. And behold, the word of Yahweh came to him, saying, this shall not be thine heir, but he that shall come forth out of thine own bowels shall be thine heir. And he brought him forth abroad and said, Look now toward heaven, and tell the stars, if thou be able to number them. And he said unto him, So shall thy seed be. And he believed in Yahweh, and he counted it to him for righteousness. And he said unto him, I am Yahweh, that brought thee out of Ur the Chaldees to give thee this land to inherit it. Now, remember, Abram was 75 years old when this call came. At this point, he had been out there in the wilderness for 11 years. He was 86 years old. He had no children. Okay. His wife, Sarah, was now 76. And so he was saying, you promised me I'm going to be a great nation. I believe you, but I guess it's going to be through Eleazar because I don't have no children. And the father said, no, it's going to come from your seed. Your bodily fluids are going to create the heir. And he said, look at the stars in the skies. That's how I'm going to make your seed. So now 86 years old is he, and his wife 76. They have been traveling through the wilderness for 11 years, more than a decade. And he believed the word that was given him. See, in the Old Testament, when it says the word of Yahweh came to, that means Father sent his spirit to an individual to inspire them, to speak to them, to impress their hearts and their mind and their spirit with what he's trying to convey to them. And so the spirit came to Abraham, and the Bible says he had a vision. See, it could be a dream, it could be a vision, but the Father speaking to him. Let me tell you something, brethren. As the scripture tells us in the book of Joel, in Joel chapter 2, we come right back to Genesis 15. But in Joel chapter 2, it tells us in Joel chapter 2, beginning at verse 28. In Joel chapter 2, actually, I'm going to begin at verse 27. From Joel chapter 2, verse 27. And I'm going to go from verse 27 and read verse 20 to the verse 29. All right, Joel chapter 2, 27 to 29. And ye shall know that I am in the midst of Israel, and that I am Yahweh, your most high, and none else. And my people shall never be ashamed. And it shall come to pass afterward, that I will pour out my spirit upon all flesh. Does that mean all the world? No. Notice what it says. And your sons and your daughters shall prophesy, and your old men shall dream dreams. Your young men shall see visions. Also upon the servants and upon the handmaids in those days will I pour out my spirit. So, brethren, we are in the last days. And as he showed Abraham, he said, the word of Yahweh came to Abraham. Brothers and sisters, you can expect the word of Yahweh is going to come to Israel today. It's already coming. Okay, the spirit is already moving on men's hearts and minds. The spirit is already convincing. People are already being dissatisfied with organized religion. They don't trust it, nor should they. We're already being awakened to the fact that white Jesus isn't our God. We're already being awakened to the fact that all three Abrahamic religions had hands in our enslavement. We're already being awakened to these things, not because we're smart, because it's time. Because he's pouring out his spirit on all flesh, because now he's talking to his people, and those that are his people are listening. That's why Messiah said in the book of Revelation repeatedly, he that has ears to hear, let him hear. Okay. The servants are Israel. And he said that he's going to show Israel. We are Israel. See, brethren, I won't argue with people or speculate about what I know, what I'm convicted on. From reading this book, I'm convicted that the black man in America is Israel. I'm convicted that those of us who have descendants of slavery from West Africa, we are Israel. That we've been scattered into various islands, we're Israel. I'm not arguing that with anybody. I'm not debating that with anybody. Somebody can challenge me to a debate. I'm not going to debate with you. It is what it is. The sky is blue and we are Israel. The sun rises and sets every day and we're Israel. Birds fly south for the winter and we are Israel. There's no debating. Somebody could say they don't believe it. That's their business. That's their problem. You see, I'm happen to believe. Not only are we Israel, but this book tells me also a kingdom is about to be established. It is the Messiah's kingdom. It's already been given to him from the Father. The only thing left, brethren, is for the announcement to be made in the third heaven, which will be made in 2027, when all land is going to be restored and every man from the tribes is going to get back what they got taken from them. It's coming. Okay? So don't be surprised if the Most High starts to speak to you and you start to hear his voice and you start to draw you to his word and he starts to draw you to prayer and you start feeling this overwhelming desire to pray and talk to your heavenly Father, to seek out his spirit. Don't be surprised. It's part of the prophecy. And brethren, I'm not telling you anything that's not already happening. It's already happening. Okay, as many can bear witness and testify, it's already happened. Okay, now back to Genesis 15. So he believed in the Father Yah, and it was counted to him for righteousness. Okay, and now let's go back now, and we know that after that there was a ritual that the Father gave to Abraham. There was a ritual that sealed the covenant between Father and Abraham, and through Abraham, who became Abraham or Abraham, it was through his promised seed, which we are. So the promise was to Abraham, who became Abraham, and to his promised seed, which are us. Let's go back to Genesis chapter 15. Genesis chapter 15, beginning of verse 7 and going from verse 7 down to verse 14. And he said unto him, I am Yahweh that brought thee out of Ur of the Chaldees to give thee this land to inherit it. And he said, Most High Yahweh, whereby shall I know that I shall inherit it? And he said unto him, Take me an heifer of 3 years old, and a she-goat of 3 years old, and a ram of 3 years old, and a turtle dove, and a young pigeon. And he took unto him all these, and divided them in the midst, and laid each piece one against the other, but the birds divided he not. And when the fowls came upon the carcasses, Abraham drove them away. And when the sun was going down, a deep sleep fell upon Abraham. And lo, an horror of great darkness fell upon him. And he said unto Abraham, Know of a surety that thy seed shall be a stranger in a land that is not theirs. And they shall serve them, and they shall afflict them 400 years. And also that nation whom they shall serve will I judge. And afterwards shall they come out with great substance. Now, brethren and sisters, this was fulfilled in the Israelite deliverance from Egypt the first time. But prophecy has a way of repeating. And here we just come out of 400 years in the United States. See, there's Hebrews scattered into Mexico, Puerto Rico, Haiti, Dominican Republic, Trinidad, all of the islands, Bahamas, Cuba. There's Hebrews scattered into all of those places. Central Americans, nations from Costa Rica, from Guatemala, from Honduras, all the way to Panama, and in all the places of the northern tribes in Mexico. There's Hebrews scattered all over that place. But according to prophecy, the false prophet is based in the United States. The false prophet exercises all the power of the beast before him. The false prophet looks like a lamb, but it speaks like a dragon. And within the land, in the borders of the false prophet, is the mother lode of Judah. Let me say that again. Within the borders of the false prophet is the mother lode of Judah. Therefore, the power of Judah is going to be revealed in this land, and it's already being revealed. The awakening is already happening all over the United States of America, in the major cities, in places all over, from Seattle, Washington, to New York City, to Florida, to Mississippi, to California and San Diego, and every place in between. The Hebrews are awakening. Judah is awakening. Okay? It's already happening. And because of that awakening, brethren, that 400 years is also here. And it's ended. It's ended. And so now, this awakening will gain steam, and it already is. You've already heard it, even on the big stage of the world's media. You've heard it in Kanye West. You've heard it in Kyrie Irving. You heard it in other celebrities. It's already gaining steam. They're trying to head it off by bringing it into their worldly media and entertainment. They're trying to head it off, but you cannot stop it. Can you stop the sun from rising tomorrow? Can you stop the moon from going through its phases? Can you grab air? Can you stop a hurricane? Then you can stop what the Most High is about to do and is already doing. So he said, the nation shall be judged. He said, that nation whom they shall serve. Judgment is already pronounced, brethren. It's already coming. You see, brethren, our fathers suffered part of the plagues in Egypt. There were actually 10 plagues in Egypt. The first 3 plagues our fathers suffered with the Egyptians. But the last 7 only afflicted Egypt, did not touch the children of Jacob. It's the same thing now. We're already seeing the beginning of plagues. And yes, it is afflicting Jacob's children as well as the heathen. Because for Jacob's children, the beginning of the plagues serve as a wake-up call. What we're going to see, what we're seeing now, especially you're seeing in the Caribbean islands, is the wake-up call. You see, because in some of the Caribbean islands, they're getting those American dollars and they got those fancy resorts, and they think, that these people love them and that they're with the Americans. They're getting their wake-up call. No, you're not. No, they don't like you. Matter of fact, they can't stand you. They want something from you, and they'll take what they want. They're getting the wake-up call in the hurricanes, in the tornadoes, in the earthquakes. The wake-up call is coming. You see, the voodoo is not going to help you. See, what happened now, brethren, we had forgotten our heritage. Matter of fact, Jeremiah chapter 17. Jeremiah chapter 17. I'm going to begin at verse 1 and go down to verse 4. Jeremiah chapter 17 from verse 1 to 4. We'll come right back to Genesis in a minute. But Jeremiah chapter 17 from verse 1 to 4. The sin of Judah is written with a pen of iron and with the point of a diamond. It is graven upon the table of their heart and upon the horns of your altars. While their children remember their altars and their groves by the green trees upon the high hills, my mountain in the field where I will give thy substance and all thy treasures to the spoil, and thy high places for sin throughout all thy borders. And thou, even thyself, shalt discontinue from thine heritage that I gave thee. I will cause thee to serve thine enemies in the land which thou knowest not. And ye shall have kindled the fire in mine anger, which shall burn forever. Yes, brethren, we have forgotten who we are. We have lost our heritage. Even though we're now awakening, there are those that still believe they need Babylon. They still believe in white Jesus. They're still following the 3 so-called Abrahamic religions. They're still out here doing what they do. So now is the wake-up call. Now is the wake-up call for the people who belong to Yah to recognize and call upon their God, the God of their father Abraham and their father Jacob and their father Isaac. Our God, Yahweh. The wake-up call has been given, and it's continuing, and it's going to get more intense. It's going to get more intense. Oh, you thought Trump was something? You ain't seen nothing yet. You ain't seen nothing yet. Wait till the next president comes. He's going to probably be the last one. Okay? It's coming. And the last 7 plagues will not afflict Israel, just like it did not afflict our fathers in Egypt. The last 7 plagues of Revelation 16 are going for the heathen only. We're not going to be afflicted by those, but by then we will be sealed and covered in the protection. Now let's go here and look at this in Genesis chapter 15 again. I'm going to start at verse 14 and go down to verse 16. Also, that nation whom they shall serve will I judge, and afterward shall they come out with great substance, and thou shalt go to thy fathers in peace. Thou shalt be buried in a good old age. But in the 4th generation they shall come hither again, for the iniquity of the Amorites is not yet full. This is the thing, brother. It wasn't for Abraham's righteousness that he was getting the land. It was for the iniquity of the Amorites. It was the curse of Canaan that was giving Abraham and his seed this land. What entitled them to it was he believed in Yahweh, and it was counted to him for righteousness. It was the righteousness that Father imputed to him. I just used a kind of a semi-big word when I said righteousness was imputed to him or imparted to him. What do I mean? Father's Spirit is giving us the righteousness. It covers us like a protective coat. It's that entitles us to the blessing. It's not because we are good in and of ourselves or we're smart in and of ourselves. You see, brethren, that's what the heathen believe. Their might, their strength, their dominance is from them. Therefore, they deserve what they get. That's what they're saying. We deserve it because we're more powerful. We came and killed all of the northern tribe and took your land, and there was nothing you could do about it. And that's true. They did it in the Americas, all over, North America, Central America, South America. They did it in Australia. That's how Australia became Australia. They did it in South Africa. That's how South Africa became South Africa. They came and they took. The children of Japhet did that. The Belgians, the Spaniards, the French, the English, the Portuguese, they took turns running trains on us. And y'all back in the day know what I mean when I say running trains. They came and they took and they raped. And nothing could stop them. And so for the last 2,000 years, it is believed that they just unstoppable. They just unstoppable. They believe that. Okay? But their iniquity is getting full. And it's for their wickedness. We read Leviticus 18. You remember what it said in Leviticus 18? All of those perversions that it went through in that whole chapter of Leviticus 18. And what did it say at the end? Let's take a look at the end. We're not going to read the whole thing. You get a chance, please read the whole thing. But we read it multiple times, those of us in these Bible studies. But look here, in Leviticus 18 at the end, notice what it says. I'm going to start at verse 24. I'm going to start at verse 24 and go down to verse 30. Leviticus 18, 24 to 30. Notice what it says. Defile, and he's talking to Israel here. Defile not ye yourselves in any of these things. You see, the previous 23 verses went through a laundry list of what the heathen were doing in the land of Canaan, which is now happening worldwide, that these powers that's been in power for 2,000 years, the children of Japhet, have been doing. Okay, so now defile not ye yourselves in any of these things, for in all these the nations are defiled, which I cast out before you, and the land is defiled. Therefore I do visit the iniquity thereof upon it, and the land itself vomiteth out her inhabitants. Ye shall therefore keep my statutes and my judgments, and shall not commit any of these abominations, neither any of your own nation, nor any stranger that sojourneth among you. For all these abominations have the men of the land done, which were before you, and the land is defiled, that the land spew not you out also when ye defiled it, as it spewed out the nations that were before you. For whosoever shall commit any of these abominations, even the souls that commit them shall be cut off from among their people. Therefore shall ye keep my ordinances, that ye commit not any one of these abominable customs, which are committed before you, that ye defile not yourselves therein. I am Yahweh. It's gotten so bad, I think it's pretty obvious if you have actually read this book, and I help you read it. Start in Genesis, go through the Revelation, and when you're finished, do it again. It's going to take you years. It's worth every year. It's worth every day. It's worth every hour. It's worth every month. It's worth every year. Read the whole thing. And when you're finished, read it again. Brethren, let me tell you. It says that the men of the land defile themselves with these customs. Let me give you an example. If I say rainbow in alphabet, you know exactly what I'm talking about. I can't say it the way I want to say it. You know why? Because I'll be in trouble, because that's how the Babylonian system is right now. That's an example. Many of the victims of the alphabet and of the rainbow have been molested as children and grown up in a situation where they've been raped and taken advantage of. And now they can't get over that. They're all messed up. And they have protective rights to continue to commit these things. We're in the last hours, brethren. The land's about to spew out people. Messiah is going to come from the sky and destroy this whole system. And the only thing that divides us from them is Father's righteousness that will be living in us. See, Abraham joined Father Yah. And you know, the thing is, the Bible says he called Abraham alone. Why would he call Abraham alone? Wasn't there other people there? Why didn't he call the rest of them? Because Abraham was the only one that would answer the call. When you read the story of Abraham, his father was called. His father was called to go to the land of Canaan, but he stopped in Ur the Chaldees and didn't leave. And his father died there. And then the Father Yah said to Abraham, you leave. See, he had actually called Abraham's father first, a Hebrew. And he was on his way. Then he stopped at Ur the Chaldees and got comfortable there. And Father Yah let him die there. And then he said to Abraham, you leave. Leave your kindred in your father's house. Because Abraham was the only one to answer the call. That's why, brethren, the Bible talks about the saved people as a remnant. You see, in Christianity, they go and preach the gospel to every creature. And this false white Jesus gospel that went to the four corners of the earth. And what went with it? Rape, murder, corruption, puppet governments, stealing and raping the elements of the land for gain. As the Bible showed us in Daniel chapter 11, they shall divide the land for gain. Well, that prophecy's come to pass. That's what they're doing. And they call it civilization. That's what they call it. So those of us that are seeking the Father's righteousness, please read this book. You really don't need any other. I know. There's a lot of winds out here telling you to read all these different books. No. I'll bear witness. having read this one 19 times from Genesis to Revelation, and on my 20th reading now, I will tell you, you don't need any other book. It will show you everything that's coming clearly if you're listening. It will show you everything so that you won't be surprised by anything. Father Yah is Alpha and Omega, beginning and end. Many people don't understand what that means, and Messiah is with him in that. What does that mean? Father is still in the beginning when he made everything, and he's at the end at the same time because he's not held by time and space. Dimensions do not contain him. See? So he already knows what's coming, and those with him will also share. Messiah said to us, have I not shared everything with you? Behold, I have told you all things. That is why when Messiah said, no man knows the day or the hour but the Father, when the Father revealed it to him, he is now revealing it to us. That's why we know there's not much more time left. And we praise Yah, because just in a few years, brethren, there'll be no more dying and no more death for Yah's people. There'll be no more illness or disease or sadness. There'll be no more destruction or corruption for Yah's chosen ones. We know that that's coming. A kingdom is about to be established, not of this system, not of this world. It's coming very shortly. And we have been blessed. Now we got to go through some real serious situations in the next few years. You know, that's here, that's coming. Okay. But right on the other side of that, we're going to be glad we stuck with it. Okay, we're going to be glad we did. Eye hath not seen, nor ear heard, neither has it entered into the heart of man the things that Yah has prepared for those that trust in him. We praise Yah. First thing we need, though, is his spirit. That's what's going to differentiate us. That's what Moses said. He said, the only thing between us and everybody else on the earth is that you're with us. And his spirit is the sign. Being filled with the Holy Ghost from Father Yah, being filled and led by his spirit is what differentiates us from everybody else on the planet. And that's very important because the planet is so corrupt that he's going to destroy it. He's going to destroy every building, every city, every monument, every church, every institution, every government, every politician, every liar. It's all being destroyed and left to the chosen ones. And the reason is because of their wickedness. Deuteronomy chapter 9, where we find ourselves studying this morning, the 9th division of this powerful prophetic book, Deuteronomy. A book that tells us not only our history of our family, where we're from, it shows us why we are here, where we are right now, and it tells us what's coming next. Yes, it's all in these be the words, Deuteronomy. Deuteronomy chapter 9. Deuteronomy chapter 9. Watch this. Hear, O Israel, beginning at verse 1. Hear, O Israel, thou art to pass over Jordan this day to go in to possess nations greater and mightier than thyself, cities great and fenced up to heaven. Now, brethren, let me explain to you. The children that run this earth, the families and tribes of Japhet that run the earth right now, okay? They rarely have powerful weapons, don't they? I mean, they got real powerful weapons, sophisticated weapons. Weapons that they've spent untold billions of dollars to develop and used all of the most powerful minds they could find to develop. These weapons look unstoppable, don't they? They look like there's nothing nobody could do to overcome them. And everybody on planet Earth is scared to death of the United States. Why? Because nobody else on the planet has let loose nuclear bombs on anybody except the United States. And they know, and we know, if they're crazy enough to do it once, right? They'll do it again. Ask the Japanese. They cousins. Wiped out 2 cities. And all men, women, and children in it. So we had to do it. We had to win the war. They have no qualms. And now the bombs are more powerful and more plentiful. Okay. That being the case, everybody is scared. But I want to show you something about their weapons. Ezekiel chapter 38. Ezekiel chapter 38. Ezekiel 38. Ezekiel 38, because they trusted in their weapons. You know, they come marching on Washington and waving their flags and causing all kind of ruckus and got all kind of guns, and they love to carry their guns. Oh, yes, they do. Ezekiel 38, beginning at verse 1. Beginning at verse 1 and going down from verse 1 down to verse 8. The word of Yahweh came unto me, saying, Son of man, set thy face against Gog, the land of Magog, the chief prince of Meshach and Tubal, and prophesy against him, and say, Thus saith the Most High Yahweh, Behold, I am against thee, O Gog, the chief prince of Meshach and Tubal, and I will turn thee back and put hooks into thy jaws, and I will bring thee forth, and all thy army, horses, horsemen, all of them clothed with all sorts of armor, even a great company with bucklers and shields, all of them handling swords, Persia, Ethiopia, Libya with them, and all of them with shield and helmet, Gober and all his bands, and the house of Tagarma, and the north quarters, and all of his bands, and many people with thee. Be thou prepared, and prepare for thyself, thou and all thy company that are assembled unto thee, and be thou a guard unto them. After many days thou shalt be visited. In the latter years thou shalt come to the land that is brought back from the sword, and is gathered out of many people against the mountains of Israel, which have been always waste, but it is brought forth out of the nations, and they shall dwell safely, all of them. Verse 9, and thou shalt ascend and come like a storm. Thou shalt be like a cloud to cover the land, thou and all thy bands and many people with thee. Verse 10, thus saith the Most High Yahweh, it shall come to pass at the same time shall many things come to thy mind, and thou shalt think an evil thought. Verse 11, and thou shalt say, I will go up to the land of unwalled villages. I will go to them that are at rest, that dwell safely, all of them dwelling without walls, having neither bars nor gates, to take a spoil, verse 12, and to take a prey, to turn thine hand upon the desolate places that are now inhabited, and upon the people that are gathered out of the nations, which have gotten cattle and goods that dwell in the midst of the land. Verse 13, watch this. Sheba and Dedan and the merchants of Tarshish with all the young lions thereof shall say unto thee, art thou come to take a spoil? Hast thou gathered thy company to take a prey, to carry away silver and gold, to take away cattle and goods, to take a great spoil? See, that's what they've been doing for 2,000 years. See? So they're going to think they'll be able to do it at the end. Verse 14. I'm going to read from 14. I'm going to read from 14 down to verse 20. Therefore, son of man, prophesy and say unto God, thus saith the Most High Yahweh, in that day when my people Israel dwelleth safely, shalt thou not know it? And thou shalt come from thy place out of the north parts, thou and many people with thee, all of them riding upon horses, in a great company and a mighty army. And thou shalt come up against my people of Israel as a cloud to cover the land. It shall be in the latter days, and I will bring thee against my land, that the heathen may know me, when I shall be sanctified in thee, O Gog, before their eyes. Thus saith the Most High Yahweh, art thou he of whom I have spoken in old time by my servants, the prophets of Israel, which prophesied in those days many years, that I would bring thee against them? And it shall come to pass at the same time, when Gog shall come against the land of Israel, saith the Most High Yahweh, that my fury shall come up in my face. For in my jealousy and in the fire of my wrath have I spoken. Surely in that day there shall be a great quaking in the land of Israel, so that the fishes of the sea, the fowls of heaven, and the beasts of the field, and all creeping things that creep upon the earth, and all men that are upon the face of the earth shall shake at my presence, and the mountain shall be thrown down, that steep places shall fall, and every wall shall fall to the ground. Verse 21, and I will call for a sword against him. Throughout all my mountains, said the Most High Yahweh. Every man's sword shall be against his brother. Verse 22. And I will plead against him with pestilence and with blood. And I will rain upon him and upon his bands and upon the many people that are with him in overflowing rain and great hailstones, fire and brimstone. Verse 23. Thus will I magnify myself and sanctify myself, and I will be known in the eyes of many nations, and they shall know that I am Yahweh. Let's compare that to Revelation chapter 16, the seventh plague. Revelation chapter 16. Actually, let's start at the sixth plague for context and go to the seventh. Revelation 16, beginning at verse 12 and going all the way down to the end. Let's compare what we just read. Revelation chapter 16 from 12 to 21. And the sixth angel poured out his vial upon the great river Euphrates, and the water thereof was dried up, that the way of the kings of the east might be prepared. And I saw three unclean spirits, like frogs, come out of the mouth of the dragon, and out of the mouth of the beast, and out of the mouth of the false prophet. There's your 666. For they are the spirits of devils working miracles, which go forth unto the kings of the earth and the whole world to gather them to the battle of that great day of Al Shaddai, or God Almighty. Behold, I come as a thief. Blessed is he that watcheth and keepeth his garments, lest he walk naked and they see his shame. And he gathered them together in a place called in the Hebrew tongue Armageddon. And the seventh angel poured out his vial into the air, and there came a great voice out of the temple of heaven from the throne, saying, It is done. And there were voices and thunders and lightnings, and there was a great earthquake, such as was not since the men were upon the earth. So mighty an earthquake, and so great. And the great city was divided into three parts, and the cities of the nations fell. And great Babylon came in remembrance before Yah, to give unto her the cup of the wine of the fierceness of his wrath. And every island fled away, and the mountains were not found. And there fell upon men a great hail, out of heaven, every stone about the weight of a talent. And men blasphemed Yah because of the plague of the hail, for the plague thereof was exceeding great. That's the seventh and last plague. That's the return of Father Yah and Messiah with his chosen ones, to destroy this whole system, as he outlined in Ezekiel chapter 38 also. Say, brothers and sisters, the time is short, and it's because of the wickedness of the land that we're in now, the wickedness of the system that we're in now, that Father is about to end it. No more little babies being made movies out of as they get raped. No more child pornography. No more prostitution and human trafficking and sex slavery. No, it's not just coming from the southern border, you see. In the United States, there's a market for it, and the market is generally white males. And the white males make the market, and everybody answers to them. See, all of you misguided fools that's thinking, oh, it's the southern border. You can't protect yourself from what's in the mirror. Let me say that again. You can't protect yourself from what's in the mirror. Brethren, let us trust in Father Yah's righteousness. It is our ticket to escape these things. Deuteronomy chapter 9. So we're going to have enemies greater and stronger than us. But that's just to show that deliverance isn't of us. The deliverance is of our Father. And the reason for that deliverance is obedience, as we talked about last night. Obedience through the power of Father Yah's Spirit, through his Spirit filling us and covering us with the perfection of righteousness that he gives us through Messiah, his appointed prophet, priest, and king. Okay? That's why. And the wickedness of the nations and the wickedness of the system that we're now in, it will not reform itself. It will not be reformed. Deuteronomy chapter 9, beginning at verse 1. Deuteronomy chapter 9, beginning at verse 1 and reading down to verse 5. Deuteronomy chapter 9 from 1 to 5. Hear, O Israel, thou art to pass over Jordan this day, to go in to possess nations greater and mightier than thyself, cities great and fenced up to heaven, a people great and tall, the children of the Anakim, whom thou knowest, and of whom thou hast heard say, who can stand before the children of Anak? Understand, therefore, this day that Yahweh thy most high is he which goeth over before thee. As a consuming fire, he shall destroy them. He shall bring them down before thy face. So shalt thou drive them out and destroy them quickly, as Yahweh hath said unto thee. Speak not thou in thy heart after Yahweh thy most high hath cast them out from before thee, saying, for my righteousness Yahweh hath brought me in to possess the land, this land. But for the wickedness of these nations, Yahweh does drive them out before thee. Not for thy righteousness or for the uprightness of thy heart dost thou go to possess their land. But for the wickedness of these nations, Yahweh thy most high does drive them out from before thee, that he may perform the word which Yahweh sware unto thy fathers, to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Yeah, not for our righteousness. We don't have any righteousness. It's because we're trusting in the only true righteousness, the righteousness of the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, of the nation of which we are the bloodline, Israel. We're trusting in the perfect righteousness offered to us through Messiah. Messiah sacrificed himself that we might obtain perfection. See, Christianity don't teach you that, do they? They're not going to. There is no way a heathen will know the truth. The truth to a heathen is a foreign language. No matter what they read in here with their New Testament Christianity, it will not save them. White Jesus doesn't exist. They made him up. There is a Jesus Christ in the Bible, but he's a black man from the tribe of Judah. Okay? They will not be able to be saved by him. He doesn't exist. But there is a line of the tribe of Judah. And he is coming for his chosen ones and with the heathen that are with them, the strangers that dwell among them. Yes, he will. He's going to save nations, but not for our righteousness, for the wickedness of the nations, because of the corruption, because they cultivate poppy seeds in one nation and have addicts in another, because they go in their labs and create opioids and addict people for money. Because these politicians could care less about you, but they want power. Because they go into other nations and kill and destroy the inhabitants, the natives of it, so they can take the land and rape it. Because they created corporations that are not people and don't care about people. Because they created race and said one race is superior to all others. Because they took Messiah, the Lion of the tribe of Judah, and made him into their own image and created a whole religion around it. Because of these, because they take babies and rape them and children and molest them, and they're protected because they have power and money. Because of these things and many, many others, it's over. It's just a question of the development of us at this point. Only thing the Father is working on right now is his 144,000. That's it. Okay? He's working on 144,000. He's developing us to represent him. Okay? We're in the midst of being trained, being developed. Yes, we are not perfect, but that's the point. We're not. He is. See? We're not stronger than the armies that are going to be coming at us. No, we're not. But our Father is. And that's the point. He is to get all the glory, not man. See, he's telling us, I'm not going to do this because you're righteous, because you're not. You see, we're wearing his righteousness. No, it's because of unrepentant sinners, because of unrepentant whore of Babylon. That's why he's destroying the place. And he's going to set up a new kingdom. As I mentioned, there'll be no more death there. There'll be no more crying there. There'll be no more pain there. There'll be no need for police. There'll be no need for hospitals anymore. For there'll be nobody ever sick there. See? And that's what he's telling his children here, our fathers. I'm not letting you take this land from these giants because you are great. I'm letting you take this land from these giants because they are wicked, because the iniquity Amorites is full, and because I promised your fathers, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, that I would give it to you. That's why. Now, the difference is now, as it was just those local nations. Now it's worldwide. Babylon is a worldwide. It sits on the kingdoms of the earth now. See, it's not just one little area. The cities of Babylon that it's talking about is the whole wickedness of the whole planet. You know, you're talking about New York, Las Vegas, Chicago. You're talking about Paris. You're talking about Barcelona. You're talking about the wickedness of giant cities where there's all kind of stuff going on. He's going to put an end to all of it very shortly. And all he's doing is preparing us for that time. We're being prepared to give him glory, to stand firm in his spirit and on his word. Brethren, let me tell you right now, those of us that are the chosen ones that trust in this word without any doubt, right? Trust in this word without any doubt. I'm not going, like I said, I don't have to argue, debate, or prove anything to anybody. I am completely convicted from reading this book myself. That's why I implore you all. Before you have anybody say anything about the book, telling you it's a white man's book, telling you this is not inspired of that, read the book. Read it for yourself. Pray to your Father. Let him teach you. And you'll never turn back. Okay? You'll never turn back. Are you going to make mistakes? Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. But is his righteousness overcoming it? Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. See, that's what Abraham believed. 86 years old. Father said, I'm going to give you a child with Sarah, 76 years old. He had to tell him that a couple of times, you know. Abraham was 99, Sarah was 89. And he said, you're going to have a baby with Sarah. Forget Ishmael. No, I'm going to bless him because he's your seed. But no, that ain't the promised seed. No, I'm giving you one from Sarah. And Sarah laughed. She said, what? And Messiah, it was Messiah that was there now. And Messiah said, why you laugh? She said, I didn't laugh. She was scared now because she thought nobody saw her. Messiah see everything just like his father. And he said, no, you did laugh. So guess what? We're going to call your son that you're going to have to laugh. Yisha'ak, to laugh. We're going to call him that because y'all laugh. Yes. But they believed the word that was given them. Sarah was way past menopause. Abraham way past even caring about passion. But they believed the word of the Most High. They believed his word. And he blessed them. And that's with us, brethren. The key is believing his word, receiving his spirit, believing and receiving of his spirit. That's really what this is about. And that's the thing that will cause us to stand in these last days. Don't worry about any of the dangers that's out here or the dangers that's coming. There are angels that are going to be by our side even now. Angel of Yahweh encampeth round about them that fear him and delivereth them. He shall give his angel charge over thee to keep thee in all thy ways. And in their hand they shall bear thee up, lest thou dash thy foot against a stone. He's got the angels with us, brethren. And if you're listening, his spirit will always guide you. You have no need to go into a bad relationship if you're listening to Father Yah's spirit. See, but you have to be willing to listen, which means if you need to be by yourself because he says so, you're willing to do it. If you're going to marry somebody that you would have never chose, but he has chosen for you, you'll be willing to do it because you're listening to the eternal wisdom of your God. Make sure that that's the case. Read his word. He will never go against his own word. So read his word, trust in him, and wait for him. You will not be disappointed, but you're going to be tested because you're not used to doing that. You're used to making your own way, aren't you? Well, I believe God gave him to me until he started beating your brains out. I believe she was sent from Yahweh. Why? Because she got a nice body and you're afraid to go home because you don't want to see her. You better make sure it's Father Yah. Read his word. Listen to his spirit. He will make it plain. You will not have to guess. If you will let him choose, if you let him lead, you'll be okay. Our only concern is when we're not letting Father lead. That's really it. Seriously. It's not anything else. Our only concern is when we're not letting Father lead. Let the Father's Spirit lead you, and you will never go wrong. You'll be going to places you wouldn't have chosen to go. But it's not you, it's Father leading you. Okay? Just let him lead, and you'll be safe. Our safety is in his leadership. See? His wisdom is eternal, eternal. He knows everything. He don't never make a mistake. Only us make mistakes. And our mistake big time is when we don't listen to him. We don't listen to his word, and we don't listen to his spirit. That's the problem. If we listen to him, if we just listen for his voice, if we acknowledge him in everything we do, we would never go wrong. Okay? There'll be some scariness, but we'll never be unsafe. He will protect us, always. Okay? And as we are getting closer to when it's all popping off big time, and it's slowly coming that way, as we're getting closer, the more angels will be around us, the more protection we will have, the more wisdom he will guide us in, and he'll move us. He'll lead us to places. A lot of us, he's going to cause to leave the land of the false prophet. A lot of us, he's going to cause to leave the children of Japhet. He'll lead us. Don't worry. Don't worry about money. Don't worry about anything. He'll lead you. He'll guide your steps, brother. Not that much longer. Not that much longer. Okay? Just hang on and hang in with your Father. Your Father loves you. He loves you, but he needs you to listen to him. He needs you. Notice at one time I told you, listen to me. Did I say that? Did I say listen to me? No. Did I say listen to raw Hebrew? No, I ain't say that. What am I telling you? Listen to your Father. Read his word and trust in him. Listen to him. He will guide you. He will never leave you nor forsake you, nor will he make a mistake with you. It's going to seem that way to you because you're used to going the wrong way. Listen to your Father's Spirit. He loves you. And if you listen to him, he's going to protect you and guide you in the way you should go. No, money's not going to have that much money. No, you're not worried about that. Okay, you're not going to be rich and famous. Okay, forget it. Not in this planet. Okay, no, we're not getting reparations. No, we're not. You know, it was interesting the other day, just a side note. Somebody sent me a text and said, well, Kyrie Irving says I'm not a real Jew. I wish Hitler had known that. Then all my cousins wouldn't be dead. And I looked it up. I actually did. Google this. Google Jewish reparations from the Holocaust. Listen, this is going to bug you out when you do it. Well, listen. Germany paid the families of Holocaust victims $86 billion. Wait. Did you hear what I just said? Germany paid the families of Holocaust victims $86 billion. Did you hear what I said? No, wait, brethren, let me ask you a question. Honestly, how much reparations have the descendants of slaves got? How much did we get? And that does not include giving them the land that is the state of Israel. That does not include the $4 billion they get every single year from your pocket because they're Israel. $4 billion a year on top of the $86 billion they already got. They've been getting $4 billion a year for a long time now. So they got the land, they've been given weapons, they've been given money, and there's more coming. But we got to keep hearing about Hitler. No, we're not getting any reparations. You know why? Let me explain why we're not getting. Number one, our deliverance is not of man. It's of Father Yah, the real Father. Okay? Our deliverance is not of man. That's number one. Therefore, Father Yah must get the glory. We cannot get the UN as our Messiah. Messiah is not the UN, not for us. Okay? Number one. Number two, and this is just as powerful, to be quite honest with you. If, say, the U.S. government was to give the descendants of slaves proper reparations, and I mean, when I say proper, let me explain what I mean. So they would be paying us for 300 years of free labor 300 years, 7 days a week, 12 hours a day. Okay, that's 300 years of free labor that we're paying us for. That's just from the slavery part. That doesn't include the Jim Crow part. Okay, and then that doesn't include all of the back pay for all of the false debt they put on us as sharecroppers. My father's family, that side of the family come from sharecroppers down here in Florida. They didn't get paid. They were put in debt from the beginning. You would come with crops and they tell you still owe money. And you're supposed to be free. That's another thing. Okay. So now you're talking about back pay plus interest for 300 years plus interest. Okay. And wait a minute. Let me ask you all a question. This is a logical question. When somebody has been damaged and financially hurt because of physical attack upon them, don't they also get damages along with the back pay and interest? Now, is that right? Am I being unreasonable, or is that's something that happens in this society? Don't they normally get their back pay, they get interest, and they get the pain and anguish pay on top of it? And a lot of times the pain and anguish pay is way more than the back pay. Am I correct? Is that true? Okay, so when you add all that up, the only thing they really could do is just give us the keys to the place and get the hell out of here. That's all they could do. There's not enough money for them to print. You understand? There's not enough money for them to print to give us what they owe us. There's no way they could pay that back. There's no way. And that doesn't even include the brethren from the islands that went through the same thing. That doesn't include the brethren, the northern tribes in Mexico and Central America that went through the same thing. That doesn't include what the Belgians did to the brothers cutting off their hands. And that doesn't even include that. We're just talking about the U.S. That's all. And they can't pay. They can't pay. It's no way they could pay. Okay. So how are they going to pay? Well, we just read it. Look at Ezekiel chapter 38 and 39. That you'll see there. You look at Revelation chapter 19. You'll see there. That's how they're going to pay. Okay. They're going to pay. Oh, they're going to pay. Okay. They're going to pay. There's no question. But they can't pay us. See, so the people looking for, I'm either, when I see people asking for reparations, I understand that they don't know who they are. Or they're just trying to get some dollars for themselves, like the Black Lives Matter people. Them lesbian sisters got their money. They got money. Oh, you think they didn't get paid? They got paid for setting that up. They got theirs. The rest of us, you know what we got? Screwed. That's what we got. Screwed. Okay, so look here. Don't worry about reparations. We're not getting reparations. It's all good. It's all good. We're going to have streets of gold. We're going to be able to eat from a tree that when you eat it, your eternal existence perpetuates. And drink from water that comes from a throne. When you drink it, your eternal existence perpetuates. Eternal youth. Look, you can't put no dollar signs on that. There's no dead presidents that can pay for that. There's no Federal Reserve Bank that could do that. Brethren, now, we're about to get ours. And it starts with something that can't be bought. The power of the Father's eternal spirit of perfect righteousness can't be bought. It can't be bought. Okay, it cannot be bought. So we are going to get what we got. The Father's going to bless us way above everything our families suffered, everything our people suffered, everything that we have been taken from us. It's all good. It's really all good. We're about to get something that money can never buy, that only the Father can give us. He's going to deliver us in a way that only he can. That's why we're going to take the crowns off our head and cast them at his feet, because only he could do that. And that's why now, brethren, we're always saying our goal is to bring glory to the Father, and we can only do that by obedience to him. Okay. You can sing and dance and we can entertain each other, but that ain't bringing glory to Father, y'all. I know they think it is. That's for us entertaining each other. There ain't nothing wrong with that. But look, you want to bring glory to Father, y'all? Obey him. Obey him. That's the only way we can bring glory to him. Obey him. because this world hates him, and they'll make up religions to stop obeying him. They'll do whatever they need to do to stop obeying him, to make up a man-made religion. So all he needs from you and me is our obedience and our loyalty. That's what he needs from us. There's no money we can give him. That's why all these, give your tithe to the church and the Lord will bless you. That's some crap. That's a pile of dog dung. That's a pile of dookie. You can't give no tithe that's going to be honoring him. What do he need from us? He wants us to be obedient. Period. Obedience, brethren. That's what he wants. Obedience. End of story. And we are learning how to do that, how to render obedience. That's what he wants from us. It's not hard, is it? It's not complicated in the sense that it's not complicated. When I say hard, it's not no mathematical problem that you got to stretch over the whole board to figure out. No, it's very simple. What does he want from you and me? Obedience. That's all he needs from us. Loyalty and obedience. That's what he got from Abraham. Loyalty and obedience. That's what he looked from us. And he'll provide the spirit to allow us to do it. Praise the Most High. Okay? Praise the Most High. All right? We're going to stop here. It's 12:38 where I'm at, here in sunny, sunshiny Florida. Praise the Most High. Now, we'll be back in about an hour, about 1:35. We'll be back, and we'll continue here in Deuteronomy chapter 9. You can see how deep this is. You can see it is, right? Deuteronomy chapter 9, man. Deuteronomy powerful. That's all I'm saying. You cannot, brethren, all I can tell you, read this book. Don't listen to people's criticisms about it. They full of it. They fighting for your enemies. Read the book for yourself. King James Version, 1611, King James Version. Read it for yourself. It will bless your spirit, man. Don't worry about the Apocrypha if it's missing and all that. Don't let people shoot, take your mind off the object. Read them 66 books by them 40 Hebrew prophets. 66 divisions by 40 Hebrew prophets. Read them. Start in Genesis and go all the way through to Revelation. Do it a couple of times. You will be blessed. He will guide your steps. He will open your mind. Okay? He will expand your IQ. He will do it. Okay, so please continue to do that. Let's continue to pray for each other, brethren. Please, for those of you planning on coming to Memorial Weekend 2023, please pray for that as well, that the Most High is glorified. I'm going to the facility tomorrow to check it out. I'm going there. I didn't tell you, Brother Well, I'm sorry about that. I didn't tell you I'm on a card, but I'm going over there tomorrow. Y'all can come if you want. I'm supposed to be there by 3 o'clock tomorrow. So I'm going over there, and we're going to check it out, see what's up. See what's up with the facility, before you start putting money down. See what's up. Okay. They got somebody there that's supposed to be showing us everything. So we're going to check it out. All right. But pray for us. Pray for that the Father be glorified in all things. May the Most High bless you and keep you. May he cause his face to shine upon you and be gracious unto you. May he lift up his countenance upon you and give you peace. Peace unto you. Be safe. Shalom.